Welcome everyone to the Flower Files podcast sponsored by Wildly Native Flower Farm. Here everyone is welcome to talk with fellow flower lovers, including real perspectives from the farm, the flowers, and me, the florist.
From the messy day-to-day operations down to the details and even business perspectives, this podcast has a little bit of everything to keep it real. We know that life can get crazy and we don't always have the time to spend on what we love, so we are here to help you take a little time to indulge in nature. I'm Liza Getz.
I'm Lizzie Frey, and we are the team that makes this podcast. Every once in a while we have a couple guests, this business thing, and what we are working with is called life.
Join us as we walk you through how to think outside the box, talk from the farmer's perspective, have honest conversations about florals, and how to run, well, life. So listen in.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, in the podcast section, and any of your other podcast platforms. You can also find us online at wildlynativeflowerfarm.com, and in an easy way, you can look in the show notes, and all of the information will be right there for easy access.
Welcome back to the Flower Files, friends. This is the podcast where we talk about flowers, business, creativity, and the moments in this industry that truly move the needle. I'm your host, Liza, from the Wildly Native Flower Farm team, and today's episode is a little sneak peek behind the scenes recap of a night that felt equal parts inspiring, elevated, and very you had to be there. Today we're talking about the Wed Society Unveiling night in Dover, Delaware, hosted by the beautiful King Cole Farm, and why this event stood out as something genuinely cutting edge in our wedding industry world. All right, guys, so from the moment we arrived at King Cole Farm, it was clear that this wasn't your typical industry event. The setting alone, it totally set the tone. It was refined. You could tell they had intentionally chosen this space, and it was also warm and inviting. Sometimes that can get lost in the process. Every detail felt like it was thoughtfully curated, from the layout and the flow of the evening when you first walked in the door and you got your name tag that was hand done with calligraphy. It was beautiful. It wasn't overwhelming or flashy for the sake of it. It was just elevated. It was creative and so well done. The flow of the room, as I said, you walked in, you got your name tag. There was a photo, not a photo booth, like it was a whole photo setup. Then there were individual looks that mimicked pages from the unveiling of the Wed Society lookbook. In the center, there were a couple tables set for folks to be able to have a seat, but there were also different vendor sets where, they got me at the little mini cupcakes and the little mini creme brulee, but you had all of these different vendors set up around the room. And one of the things that set this apart is it is truly a space for vendors to be able to talk to other vendors. Most of the time when we're setting up a wedding, we don't really have time to talk other than a, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. This was a night for us to truly interconnect, not just mingle, but actually have meaningful conversations. And it really, 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 it really was about connection and community, not just visibility. I think one of the things that made the night so incredibly special was how intentionally curated everything was. It wasn't packed wall to wall. It was that select group of vendors, creatives, planners, designers, artists, all showcasing different talents and styles within the wedding industry. So being included in that group felt meaningful. It felt like being invited to a shared vision of where the industry is headed, and one that values originality, collaboration, and craftsmanship. There were multiple florists there, and it was so nice to be able to talk to other florists who have the same questions, thoughts, concerns. We are all facing the same type of day-to-day questions and struggles and contracts and all of the things. It was so nice, down to mechanics, being able to just talk about mechanics in a space that felt really inviting, which was really, really, really important. Everywhere you turned, there was talent. There was, as I said, there were florals, There was fashion, there were dresses, they were all set up. And the food was so good. You were met with mini charcuterie boards. I, of course, skipped that. You guys can all have the pepperoni and cheese. I want the cupcakes. But there was a little bit of barbecue. I think one of the things that we were probably most proud about is our flower garnish. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Petal Pantry, make sure you check out our Petal Pantry. That is our culinary line. And we have 4 parts to it. We have just floral petals. This is all culinary use florals. So you have just the petals themselves. There's 2 types of sugars. There's a larger sugar. Think about topping that on a muffin or a cupcake. And then there's a much finer sugar, which is really good for maybe a smaller muffin or cookies, or my favorite is putting it on the rim of a glass. So we had that, and that was there that night. Our 4th one is a salt. I guess you could put that on with a margarita, but the floral sugar rim was beautiful. They had paired it with a cocktail, so they were showcasing that. We were showcased in one of the pictures there. Our whole team was there. It was just such a powerful evening, on top of the fact that Wed Society is not just in Delaware. They have finally unveiled that they were allowed to share that they are Eastern Shore. So it's Delaware and Eastern Shore. So it's the whole peninsula, because it really is different than when you cross the bridge and you go to the Western Shore. So excited. I just feel like this night felt like it was a reminder that weddings don't have to fit into a single box. They can and should reflect personality, creativity, intention. All of those pieces really come together. And of course, we have to talk about the fun part. Our team showed up, dressed up, and let me tell you, dressed up is not always my favorite space. I really was planning to wear this one style dress. I was really excited, and then I panicked last minute and was like, that's too formal, because some people were talking about some of the things that they were wearing, and I was like, I can't wear that. It's way too much. So I went to go put on another dress, and I was like, well, I don't think that one fits either. And then, have you ever had that moment in the closet where you're standing there and you've kind of pulled all the things and you're like, you're trying them on, you have a pile on the bed. Thank God nobody was home. And then I stood there and was like, okay, I'm just going to wear my basic favorite dress. Went to get it. It wasn't in the closet. I panicked so bad. So a couple years ago when we were on vacation, I had bought one of those dresses that you're supposed to be able to wear 72 different ways. Like literally, that's how they advertise it. I was like, all right, I'll try this. 20 minutes later, and now I have to leave in 3 minutes. I have no makeup done. I have no dress on. I'm tied in a dress that looks like a freaking curtain. Literally looks like a curtain. I got a text from Nicole because she was like, oh, can't wait. Look, I'm so sparkly. She looked amazing. I sent her a picture. I was like, I look like a curtain. And she texts back all in bold, you haven't left yet? I was like, dude, I'm not even dressed to leave. So needless to say, when it comes to like dressing up, I can either dress up, but like the middle road kind of stresses me out. I can do business, I can do dinners and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to a cocktail dress, homegirl right here needs to go shopping next time. Maybe with some supervision. But anyway, so everybody was dressed up. They looked amazing. Curls, makeup. It was awesome to walk in. And it felt like I had like my posse with me. Like all the girls, we were all together. We had so much fun, and we snacked on just amazing food, and we made it a point to really be present. I feel like we weren't on our phones. We just were able to talk and collaborate and laugh and just have a little bit of some time together. We took group photos. The one, again, me being the issue here. I kept closing my eyes. I didn't mean to, but they were like, keep your eyes open. There's a line, there's people. I was like, oh my God. But we just all enjoyed being in the space with other people who truly understood the industry. We will We will post a couple of those pictures and videos and things like that. It matters. It's moments like this that matter. They build the culture, they build the team, they remind us why we love doing this work all together. We all come from different personalities. Nicole is my technical person. She can look at things and she sees things in a different way. Kenley can look at things and she's really good at understanding what it has to take to put all of those pieces together and keep it going and have a smile the whole time. Lizzie lives in design. Me, I just try to wrangle the chaos. So when all of us come in together, we all may attend the same thing, but when we talk about it the next day, man, is it a different conversation, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so although I talk to people and although we do this business stuff and all of these things, at my heart, I'm slightly a shy and nervous person. I am this person who can turn on and I can do all of the things, but in my gut, inside my little brain, the little voice that lives in my head, I'm having like, you gotta go talk to strangers. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I do. And it doesn't matter. You just go talk to them. But sometimes it still gives me a heart attack. So I was like, you know what? For the podcast, I definitely want to talk to the founder. She was there that night. So I was like, here I am, uncomfortable in my dress, feeling like a fish out of water because I'll be honest, put me on a tractor and let's talk soil and I'm in and I can do that inside and out. The super duper girly, like I'm going to dress up. I'm always afraid I'm going to trip and fall. I did not wear a curtain, by the way. Let me just clarify. I did wear a very nice dress. It technically was the second thing I put on. Should have just stuck with it. But here is this cute, hair's perfect, makeup's perfect, everything. She just looks like so put together. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ask her. She would love to be on the podcast. So I walked over, introduced myself. She was like, oh my God, we love what you do. I was like, really? It was really, really neat. Keep a listen for hearing from her in the future because she's going to come on and talk about how her whole vision started, which is really, really neat. So that'll be next year at this point. But really got to meet her, and there's something wonderful and powerful about connecting with the actual human behind the platform. I got to hear her passion. I got to understand her vision, and I got to see how intentional her brand truly is and what sets it apart from everything else in the hurricane of wedding planning. How does her project, basically, it's a project that she started with, how does it get set apart? That was huge. So why do events like this matter? Nights like this are super important. They remind us that collaboration beats competition. It also sparks creativity. It reconnects us to that bigger picture beyond our day-to-day work. And it shows couples that the wedding industry is full of talented, passionate people who actually really care deeply about creating something that's unforgettable. It's not a money grab. Yes, I make money while we do this, but at the end of the day, when I walk in and hand that bride her bouquet and she, that is one of my favorite moments ever. So if you were there, you know exactly what I mean. And if you weren't, I hope this gave you a tiny little window into the Wed Society Unveiling. It happens across the nation. It's not just a Delaware thing. So if you get a chance, check out Wed Society and find out why it's a big deal. I know I sound like a commercial and I definitely don't mean to, but I didn't know anything about it until I logged in and was like, oh my God, it's like Houston and Miami and all of these really huge cities. And here we are in this tiny little Delaware Eastern Shore area, and they chose to work with us. That is huge. And it really helped me hit my vision of there's a couple more places where I definitely want to be. There's some venues on my bucket list, and it just got reinforced so much that night. But to the Wed Society team, thank you guys for creating something so incredibly intentional. Dan and Michelle were there that night, and they were present, and they spoke to everybody. It wasn't, oh yeah, you're here and we're going to mingle with the really big important people. No, they spoke to every single person. It was incredible. To the other vendors that we connected with, it was an honor to be in that same space with you. So much fun to meet with you, chat with you, and just collaborate and laugh. And my own team, I was so grateful to get to experience moments like this all together. And I know next year, I'm grabbing one of you guys and you're going to help me go shopping so I can walk into there a little more comfortable and in shoes that I don't feel like I'm going to die in. Which means I probably will wear muck boots. I hope that was a good little piece for you guys to understand the evening. As always, Flower Files friends, like, share, comment, all of the things. Share this with someone who's maybe getting ready to look at either advertising, or are they looking to get married? If they're looking to get married, then make sure you check out Wed Society and all of their curated vendors. It's not something that you just, oh, I'm going to be part of that. You have to be selected. And it's such an honor. It is such an incredible honor. So that's all. I hope you have a fantastic week. Short little snippet, and I will definitely chat with you soon.